Hey, hello everybody, I hope that all of you are doing super well, and today we're going to talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ really quickly and kind of like as a last minute thing, because there's a lot going on around DBFZ on Twitter, some news about the Battle Hour event that is happening literally right now, and tomorrow we have an entire day that is centered on Dragon Ball FighterZ with huge potential announcements and more. And the only reason why I'm making this video is because of 2 or 3 things related to kind of like, stuff that is happening at the event in Los Angeles that is completely new, and it might be a hint for a big announcement tomorrow. So let's get into it. Okay, so first, very quickly, to anybody that doesn't even understand at like a base level what's going on, there's an event going on in the US that is called Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour, and you can kind of like understand it as the biggest Dragon Ball event every year. Like, they do it as a celebration of the IP, and there's always like stuff related to the game, activities, and a ton of announcements. It's kind of like a Comic-Con based on Dragon Ball, if you could understand it like that, just to have a comparison. But the thing is that tomorrow or today, depending on when you're watching this video, essentially on the 19th, there is a full day that is for Dragon Ball FighterZ. There's a giant tournament with legendary players from DBFZ like Sonic, Fox, and Goichi, and at the end of the day, there is supposed to be an announcement. Like, the most expected thing is of course one for Daima Goku, which is the upcoming DLC for the game that already got shown initially with a teaser at EVO France last year. So we're highly likely going to get a gameplay trailer for the character in that day at the end of the tournament. But the thing is, there's a ton of hints kind of like on social media and other related stuff to the event that kind of says to you that the gameplay trailer for Daima Goku might not be the only thing that we will see. This is of course only a speculation, but I'm gonna tell you the reasons why there could be a much bigger update for Dragon Ball FighterZ getting announced by the end of the tournament tomorrow than just kind of like the gameplay trailer for Daima Goku, and that's it. And well, the first thing is that EVO, the giant fighting game tournament that we all know about, and if you're kind of like an outsider to the FGC and you just like Dragon Ball FighterZ, EVO is kind of like the World Cup of fighting games as a genre in many ways. It's the biggest event of the year in the competitive scheme of fighting games. They put up a tweet on their official account and also a complete article on their website about the event, about the Battle Hour, and about the Dragon Ball FighterZ Masters Showdown, which is the giant tournament with the legacy players of the title that they are doing. And it is kind of weird that they are doing this because EVO is not completely kind of like directly related to Bandai Namco, to Dragon Ball as an IP, or to Arc System Works as a development team in terms of them being the people behind Dragon Ball FighterZ up until this point. So it is kind of suspicious that EVO is putting up official information about what's going on, taking into account that they don't need to. They are not related to the event in itself, so that is kind of like the first hint that is very suspicious about maybe having something more than just the trailer that we are all waiting for Daima Goku as the next DLC. And then the second hint that is arguably even bigger that their EVO related stuff is that the producer for Dragon Ball FighterZ that works representing and managing the game at Bandai Namco, who is called Tomoko Hiroki, if I'm saying that right, is actually at the Battle Hour event. She's a part of some activities, and also some people on Twitter have said that they have spotted her at the venue, like Damascus, which is somebody that works commentating the Masters Showdown tournament. But why is it actually relevant that the producer of DBFZ is actually at the event? Well, from what I remember, because I'm doing this on the fly, so don't quote me on this, guys, but the last time that I remember seeing the producer of the game at an event at an international stage, right, not on Japan, was actually on EVO 2022, when we got the next-gen console update for DBFZ and the rollback update. So it is very suspicious that she is at the Battle Hour, and we're not gonna get anything bigger than the trailer for Daima Goku that everybody's already expecting. And for example, I also saw Goresh, which is a Dragon Ball related content creator, very big in terms of anime content, right? And he essentially said like, hey, the producers, all of them, were also at Jump Festa and nothing happened. There were no announcements, so don't get too excited. But the thing is that there is a big difference between going to an event in Japan, locally in your own country, and don't announce anything, than going all the way to the other side of the world and also don't announce anything. I think that it is very, very suspicious that the producer of DBFZ literally took a plane for 20 hours to go to an event in Los Angeles when she's from Japan and works in Japan, and then she's not going to announce anything. To me, at least, it sounds very weird. So, of course, this is just a speculation, like I said. It's not like I'm saying that something's gonna happen, because we don't know, but it is to say the least, suspicious. So I wouldn't be kind of like too surprised or find it weird that we might get something bigger than just the gameplay trailer for Daima-Goku. But then, what could actually be the big announcement if it happens? The first thing that comes to my mind, if we live in a perfect world, it would be one, that we get crossplay for Dragon Ball FighterZ, because DBFZ doesn't have crossplay. If you have a friend, for example, that plays on PS5 and you play on PC, you cannot play together. There's no way to do it. And a game that is as big as Dragon Ball FighterZ, that sold so many copies, and that is going to have a giant amount of returning players because of Daima-Goku as a DLC, it is actually a great idea to put a crossplay update for the title. I think that it could happen. Then the second thing would be getting an entire new season of DLC. As we all know, Daima-Goku got announced out of nowhere, and it is very big that we're getting a new DLC after a big kind of like time window without big updates for the game specifically related to new characters. So to me, it is very suspicious that we're gonna get only one solo character as DLC and not an entire season pass. It is, to say the least, like I said before, for the case of the, producer being at the event, kind of weird or suspicious. So I also would expect that if something super big happens, it might be an entire season pass of DLC, so the Dragon Ball FighterZ kind of like makes a comeback. It is still more present in the scene until the sequel for the game comes out maybe 4 or 5 years from now. I'm actually going to be streaming the entire event on Twitch, so if you want to watch it with me, give me a follow. I'm going to leave a link in the pinned comment, and we can watch the entire tournament together and wait for those big UC announcements. Like, I love fighting game announcements. It's one of my favorite things related to this type of video games, actually. So I'm hoping for something big, because that's what it is starting to look like. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video or you want to see more Dragon Ball FighterZ content on the channel. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow or today, depending on when you're watching, at the event and on the stream on Twitch. And take care. Bye-bye.